tell you all about travel tips for would-be adventurers, but I think I might as well call it travel tips for reluctant adventurers. Who here loves to travel? Okay, this isn't for you. Who here is terrified of traveling or just hates it? Oh, a lot of you. I can see that. The great thing about being here in Toastmasters is that we challenge ourselves. We're here because we want to be the best that we are. We're not afraid of adventure. We're not afraid of failure. And we want to meet other people, do we not? That exemplify the best in us, draw it out, show us by their own actions what it's like to try and sometimes not meet the mark and show up again and again and try again. And I'm here to tell you that my experience of travel and the family that I came from has shown me how valuable travel is. And I want to share some of my tips and insights with you all tonight. Now, during this speech, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about why travel. It's about enrichment, travel, but not a vacation. Traveling right, traveling light. Language and cultural tips, how to mix with the locals. Now that might really terrify you, but that's something that we can talk about tonight. How to go everywhere, do everything, see everything, and spend next to nothing. Now that sounds pretty good, I'll bet. And then keeping the party going, travel blogging, becoming a travel agent, or learning how to be a creative real estate investor. So you can make travel your full-time occupation. And you can even take your children, if you can imagine that. So let's get started, shall we? Why travel? It's enriching. It's an opportunity for us to stretch ourselves, to go outside of our comfort zone. But how is this best essayed? How do we start? How do we wrap our minds around something that we might actually really not want to do in the first place, but that in our best imagination, we fantasize about it nevertheless? I think everybody fantasizes about traveling. Well, where it starts is right at home, so that's easy enough. We have the world at our fingertips with the internet. And the best thing to do is to find ideal locations that spark your passions, and then read everything that you can find about those. The places of interest, the language, the culture, the history, the food, the topography and geography and weather, until we get an intimate sense of what that place will be like. And why? Because it will spark our curiosity. And when we're curious about something, our passions are aroused, not our fears. And so we inevitably will begin to go towards the thing that we have become desirous of, rather than retreating from it. And that's very important if travel is something that you have found in the past to be difficult. All right? Next point, how to travel right by traveling light. So I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I will say this. I am a maximalist. Recovering, but that means that I take an enormous suitcase and I fill it with everything that I can think of. And then I lug it around and probably don't even get 5 things out of there in the whole trip. The way to really travel and to not be burdened is to take an overnight bag that you know will fit under your compartment or overhead, and just put the things that you need in it, with the understanding that you can purchase everything else when you get to your destination. And that in fact is half of the fun, because one of the things that you'll be learning about when you travel is how to count in that language, and how to bargain and haggle, what they expect when you get to that country, and how to have a really good time in the bazaar. And the next thing I'd like to talk about is language and cultural tips and how to mix with the locals. Now, a lot of people when they travel, they think about it as a vacation. But a real traveler does not take vacations. They explore, they meet people, they have the time of their lives, they make friendships that last a lifetime. And how do they do that? One of the best ways is to learn a little bit of the language. Now, I'm a linguist. You might have heard of linguists. I'm a linguist. I really love the challenge of learning a language and speaking it absolutely correctly with an accent that will make a local go, "Oh my God, you're an American?" Because the next thing out of their mouth is going to be, "You've got to come home and meet my wife and my kids and let me tell you all about all the super secret places that none of these hicks ever see." So you take your phrase book and you learn as many of those phrases and speak them as well as possible. And that's all you have to do. Because I'll be honest with you, once you're in the door, they're going to get down on their hands and knees and beg you to speak English with them because they have to practice. So don't expect to learn any language when you travel because everybody wants to learn English. And that's another reason why they're going to invite you to their house and meet all their kids and their family. Then finally, one of the best things, well, I'm just going to finish that last section with doing it for next to nothing. When you're with somebody that you've met and you've connected with powerfully, they're your hosts. You get to sleep with them, you get to eat with them, they tell you where to go, you meet all their friends, it just doesn't cost anything. So that's a really good way to go. But there's also wonderful opportunities. I think I'm going to run a little bit over, I see the red. But I really want to express this to everybody here. I think that's a little more important. One of the great opportunities that you'll have is to see the sights that nobody sees and to really get to know people on an intimate level. And the people that vacation, they don't get those sorts of opportunities. And if you want to travel really cheap, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can book impromptu flights, flights that are underbooked. There's just a million ways to go very, very cheaply. So the less said, the better, because I think a lot of people already know about those. So I'm going to wrap up here with talking about how to keep the party going. Once you've had a taste for authentic travel experiences, then you might want to go, well, I want to see this country and that country, but my budget's not going to let me do that. Well, that's an opportunity for you to learn how to purchase abandoned properties for very, very little in places like Japan and Italy. Learn about creative investing. You can make these into Airbnb properties. You can learn about multi-unit buildings. And a lot of places are having negative population growth. Their economies are tanking, and they really, really welcome foreign investors. So that's one way to go. And there are real estate investment courses and groups everywhere, probably as many as there are Toastmasters. And finally, I just want to say, when you're keeping the party going, travel blogging is a great way to go. People will follow you. They'll see your images, your videos. They'll get to learn about your family and your passions and all the new people you're meeting. And you can turn that into a way to make enough money so that you can go to your next destination. Travel blogging is a very underappreciated but yet very popular approach to making a little bit of money. And then finally, you can do what my mother did, because she was bitten by the travel bug very early and she became a travel agent. And you might be thinking, well, it's the 21st century. I can just go to bookings.com and yes, that's all true. But a travel agent is a rarefied bird who knows for other people how to craft the perfect experience. And people with money will pay you a lot to do that. And there's incredible perks with learning how to become a travel agent. So, in conclusion, if you are scared of travel, find somebody who is an adventurer, join an adventurers club, take a minute to just learn about what it's like, and the sky is literally the limit. Thank you.